This tray will hold 4 bikes pretty easily, 2 mountain bikes, 2 road bikes, or I'll do my 2 Eskers and my DJ transition on here. This is a representation of what Benchmark Vehicles does. I'm the owner of the company, Leland Gilmore. We're based out of Southeast Portland, and that's Portland, Oregon. And we work primarily on the Sprinter chassis. This particular model is a 170, fully kitted, was just finished about 3 weeks ago. Down here in beautiful Moab, Utah, just hanging out. This van has pretty much everything you would ever expect or need or want to see out of a premium level upfit, and starting from the hidden winch mount by Agile Off-Road. So we've got a 12K Xeon Platinum winch in there just in case, because I'm going to get stuck and need it. These are just Baja Designs LP6s and super bright. Pretty much outwash the Vision X lights that are on top, the 4.7 Canons, which are also just super bright and throw the light way out in the desert, and especially out here when it's super dark at night. It's really nice to have that added light and not worry about hitting a deer or just actually see where you're going when you're off-road. The factory bumper, everything, all of the plastic's stripped off, and we spray coat both sides of the plastic with Line-X, and then coat the lower metal rockers as well. And then the fender flares, the front end is got a little wrap on it, and then kind of a protective hood spoiler as well. The whole van is wrapped in a 3M clear bra, so it's not a vinyl, it's a rubber. So it's rock chips, brush. If you drive through brush, you don't get the pinstripes like you normally see on a van. So the cold air intake snorkel is all about bringing cold, clean, fresh air into the engine bay. There's a big misconception on why people put snorkels on a van. And the primary reason to have a snorkel on a van is to get the intake, which is normally right down here, up there. So you get cooler air when you're up and above the outside of the engine bay. Or if we're on a really dusty trail with a bunch of rigs, we can put a pre-filter on that, and it'll pre-filter any dust that gets sucked into the engine filter and then goes into the engine. So you're basically pre-cleaning the air before it goes in. So it just is going to perform way better. And then, sure, for water, you're never driving your van up above the windshield, but let's just say you drive to right here on your winch line and you go maybe a little bit too fast and you splash water into your grill right here. It's going to go right into your intake and right into your motor, and you're going to stall out or hydro lock. If the worst thing, you're going to blow up your motor. So that's going to prevent that from happening. Yeah, so pretty much the best suspension that, in my opinion, I would consider putting on is the Agile Off-Road kit. There's a bunch of custom bracketry in there. There's a coilover. We replaced the factory strut with the Bilstein strut. We do an additional rebound shock, so auxiliary shock on the front. The rear end, we strip out the 4-inch lift block, the 2 leaf pack spring, and we do a 7 leaf pack military wrap spring, which lifts it about 2.5 inches as well. And then there's Falcon tuned shocks to the weight of the van, and those are adjustable shocks. Yeah, the step, the rack, the ladder on the other side are all done by Rome Built in Portland. We work exclusively with Rome Built for all of our racks, side steps, tire carriers, rear door ladders, side ladders, front bumpers, and they just make a really nice product, and we've always used them since the beginning. Again, Agile Off-Road does tire carrier, and it's a steel 3-point connection tire carrier, bolts straight to the hinges. There's no weight on the door. The hinges are just, the weight's just carried right off the hinge, not the actual sheet metal of the door. And then they do a custom badge for us as well. Let's see how it mounts right here.
Oh, super cool.
So there's a backing gusset in here, and obviously the load is carried on those 2 points, but this third triangular point connects, just makes it a super secure connection, so you can be bouncing down the road and it's not going to go anywhere. I can move the whole van around with that tire carrier. Gear garage, we do our own custom trays, so obviously logo branded. This tray will hold 4 bikes pretty easily, 2 mountain bikes, 2 road bikes, or I'll do my 2 Eskers and my DJ transition on here. And this trip we got just a road bike, dirt jumper, and the 29er RAL from Esker. But I think it's probably one of the best features of the van, just having your space dialed, all of the gear bags we make in-house. So obviously I've got mine dedicated for bicycling, but you could put whatever you want in those bags, and especially on the tray as well, if you just want to have a big cooler on there or something. We've got, more bike stuff, helmets, shoes, obviously stuff for the air compressor. So I can reseat tubular or tubeless tires. The compressor is right here.
Oh,
So we've got the fitting right next to the shackle, so you can just plug that in and just turn on the compressor and air up your tires. Driver's side for us always has electrical, so batteries, power inverter, solar charge controllers. Pretty simplified electrical system, but 630 amp hours lithium battery. And then on our passenger side, we always do our water system. So our freshwater tank is always located under the van, but our hot water, our hydronic system for heating the air is always on that passenger side. This is all, we do all of our soft goods in-house, and this particular design, I'd been thinking about how to kind of block off the bed for weather or rain, whatever. So there's a waterproof fabric here, and then you can actually zip that up. And then when you roll this up, you have a screen to the bed, so you can open the doors up and get nice airflow into the bed. Really nice, summer or winter usage, or if you're just looking to keep the dust out on a day like today. It's all nice waterproof UV fabric. So again, Rome Built does the ladder, the rack, and funny story, when I was driving along recently here in Moab about 3 days ago. You can see the blue paint on here. It's from like a Jeep tube buggy that went by the van pretty obnoxiously and slammed right into the rack,
man.
Like at high speed, but luckily hit this and not the fiberglass flare, which would have exploded if he had hit that. So he hit this and bounced off and kept going and bent this in right here. There's a big bend in the ladder, and just the paint scuffs, but no damage to the body. So I was pretty stoked.
That's crazy.
The ladder helped protect the van.
Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to get up there, aren't I? We're up here.
We're up here. Are you afraid of heights?
I'm a little afraid of heights, but we're on the roof, if you guys can't tell. So, what roof rack is this?
So Rome Built does the roof rack as well. Made right in Portland, right by us, and they do a nice perforated aluminum, so we can bolt these boxes down. We can bolt down, Yakima crossbars if you want to put another box up here, or skis or something like that. And then solar panels get mounted to the very front of the rack. They're the Zamp from Bend, Oregon, and that's their Obsidian line. And they're just super low profile. There's 300 watts on there, and kick out on a day like today anywhere from 20 to 24 amps of power. So pretty much a net zero on power loss during a day like today. Yeah, so it's just a Wii Boost, cell phone boost, so it'll just give you a little bit of extra LTE or 5G when you're out kind of in the middle of nowhere. So as long as you have a bar or two, this will help just kind of amplify that. We're a Rome Adventure Company, and they're actually just right down here today at Outer Bike, right across from us, so that's kind of cool. And we put these on almost every van, obviously, like leveling blocks, winch recovery bag, essential. I've got max tracks, recovery tracks in there, shovel, axe, hose. So kind of all the stuff you don't want to keep in the van goes up here.
Oh, no way. It's electronic.
It's electronic. This is the Benchmark 4-season screen, and it's basically the same concept as the rear, where we got a screen. You can zip the screen out, zip in a waterproof fabric for the winter use, and when you open your door, you're not gonna have snow or rain blowing in. You're doing the pass-through. Yeah, welcome. Just a really cozy space. We've got indoor shower with a toilet in here. A lot of good storage space. Looks like I have to do some dishes. So we have 40 gallons of water, which is empty right now because I've not filled it up. But everything's monitored on the Victron system here. So obviously we're at 0%, so we need to refill right now. Do that later, but we can always see where we're at freshwater, where we're at with the wastewater. If we want to dump the wastewater, just hit a button and that opens up a valve and dumps the gray tank. Yeah, so just a really nice phantom door. Easy to use. Everything drains down where it's supposed to and doesn't get out of the shower on your floor. And they're light and simple, so that's why I like to use them. Yeah, so we don't do any propane in any of our vans, but we'll use often a diesel cooktop made by Webasto. And the diesel cooktops are great because they require very little power, but you do get a little bit of exhaust. So if you like to cook a lot, with your door open. It's a concern for some people. Induction's cool just because it heats up quick and you can get your meal cooked up with no problem. And with a big battery bank, it's not really an issue at all. Got the sink. The sink has definitely got a bunch of dishes in it. Like we do, just like a lot of custom inserts for all of our cups and mugs and sort of things that go in here. Pots and pans and food and whatever you like to carry with you. Toaster. We've got a sweet little bar cabinet here, which is critical if you like to hang out outdoors, have a drink in the evening. Yeah, so in here it's just a little coffee maker.
So
and
cool.
Coffee supplies up top, and then everything up here is just food supplies. This one's dedicated to the high maintenance dog. More space for all the good stuff that you need, and bigger than a queen. With the flares, so the bump outs on the side, it's 80 inches across. So I mean, you're like 6'1", plenty of space to stretch out in there. It's really wide. It's 66.5 inches wide. You think the standard queen is 60, so you're like another 6.5 inches.
Oh wow.
There's a little shelf back there, charging shelf. You can plug in a laptop, so there's 110 power back there as well. I always like to have the front of the van open, so having space for a table in here is really nice. You can eat, you can work, and plug in. The dog has a nice little spot that's kind of safe for her to just chill when we're driving on the road. And then this seat, in fact, turns into a bed. So with the driver's seat spun around, you've got a 6-foot long bed, a second bed. Stoked to show you guys, and it's been super nice here today at Outer Bike in Moab. And check out Esker, my homies over there, the best bikes here. Bottom line, check out Benchmark Vehicles, Portland, Oregon. Obviously the best vans in the US, so check those out as well.